Hi, I lied in my last video. This isn't the next game at all. That was loud, I hope that didn't break. But yeah, we're not just looking at 3D Sonic games. We're looking at 3D Sonic games with an asterisk. But I feel bad for lying, so for this video and this video only, I will hook myself up to a lie detector as shown right there. Now if you're wondering why there's nothing connected to my arms, my hands, it's actually because the device, it's a new experimental lie detector and it is shoved up my ass. So before we get into the games that are actually valid to bring up when talking about 3D Sonic, we're gonna be the weird fuck that, that asshole Bruce. Well, technically Sonic 3D Blast, we're gonna be that guy. And for the hell of it, I'll throw in Sonic R to make up for Blast's lack of polygons. I'm looking at the version of Sonic 3D Blast available on Steam because that's the one I already own. Now I used to play this a decent amount on the Genesis collection for PS3, but I don't think I actually ever got to the second zone. But I played it a lot, so the skill will come back to me eventually. Damn it. Sonic 3D Blast was Sega's solution to there not being a Sonic game on the Sega Saturn, so naturally it also came out on the Genesis. Since mostly everyone knows about the disaster that was Sonic Extreme, and looking at the footage, I'm actually kind of glad this thing got scrapped. That makes this the first 3D Sonic game. An almost 3D Sonic game. A Sonic game. In this game, Robotnik thinks up a brand new plan to turn Flickies into robots and have them help him find the Chaos Emeralds. I'm starting to get deja vu. Sonic goes to visit the Flickies, and when he sees the robots, decides to free them and stop Eggman. A basic Sonic story for the time. Sure, it's not as interesting as Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but the plot is the least of this game's problems. In each act, you have to find all of the badniks in the area, free the Flickie, and take them to these warp rings, which will open up a new area. Most acts have 3 areas with 5 Flickies to find in each, so sounds like decent fun, right? It was a question! As you can tell, this game is played at an isometric view, which makes being precise an impossibility. Now, this game controls... It has controls. That's the nicest thing I could say about them. The movement is way too sensitive. I know Sonic is fast, that's... Oh yeah, his whole thing. But it just makes this game feel way too slippery. It's a bad sign when jumping on item monitors has even the smallest amount of difficulty. It's not even fun to find badniks. They aren't hidden at all, and the areas, while being somewhat open, are so small that you're bound to just run into them eventually. There's practically no platforming in the first zone, which is for the best, because not even the drop shadow makes jumping on small platforms any less annoying. Just why is the game at this angle? It doesn't serve any purpose other than trying to trick you into thinking it's 3D. In practice, it makes the game extremely frustrating to try and play. Each zone has 2 acts before the 3rd act, which is just a boss, and honestly, the bosses are alright. I only played 2 of them because you can only play so much of this game before you get bored or a headache. The main point of the game is exploring the levels, but that's just not fun. I only found 1 special stage, and when I saw the others hidden behind obstacles, I just didn't bother. The special stages aren't that special either, although I do like them more than the main game. Seriously, why didn't they just try to make linear levels like this for the main meat of the game? Not only is it more in tune with the original games, but it even controls a bit better. It would still be a bad game because these stages are boring, they suck to look at, and it's still not 3D, but it would be better than this. Tails, why are you just standing there? Make yourself useful and do something. You could fly, go find the rest of the Flickies. How Knuckles, climb up these walls. Let's get some, Sonic 3 action going. Also, you can't even jump over some obstacles. This game sucks. So yeah, there's just no reason to play this game. It's not real 3D, so it doesn't have the value of being the first 3D Sonic game. It's not entertainingly bad, and it's certainly not a hidden gem. I know about the director's cut version, but there's honestly only so much you can fix about this game before you're better off just making a new game entirely. The only part of this game's title that's actually accurate is Sonic. He sure is in it, aren't you, little shit? Yeah, that's what I thought. But since that wasn't an actual 3D game, we should also look at Sonic R, since it was one of the first times that we got to control Sonic in 3D. Now, technically Sonic Jam beat it by about 5 months, but that was more of a compilation with something that you could mess around with in 3D, while this is an entirely new game. I've never actually played this game. I've heard a lot about it though, mainly that it's missed potential and the controls hold it back. I'm sure I can put up with them just long enough to get some first impressions. This probably won't be that long. My finger slipped. Okay, I played the Sonic Gems Collection version on the GameCube. Now you may be asking, oh, if I did that, then why didn't I also play Sonic the Fighters? Why would you ask that? From the looks of it, it's a pretty basic racing game. You start with the choices of Sonic, who's obviously the fastest, and I think he can double jump, Tails who can fly, Knuckles who can glide, and Amy! Don't pick Amy! Robotnik is also in the races, but you have to beat the game to unlock him, and the controls take some getting used to. You press forward to move, which is fine, but on the joystick, it's kinda awkward to move forward and light turn, I don't know what the actual, and turn, pretty much, meaning you need to use the D-pad, and I hate the GameCube's D-pad, but it works well enough. It still feels weird, like the controls weren't fully fine-tuned, especially when you try to make a sharp turn with L and R, but you get a handle for it, and it becomes kind of fun. Now, I may have played the whole game before realizing that every character has special abilities such as the aforementioned double jump and glide, but the game is piss easy once you understand the basic controls. The tracks are pretty short, but actually a decent size, each of them with multiple paths you can almost freely explore, which is something I really like about the game. Each level has 5 coins and 1 or 2 Chaos Emeralds you could find, and the levels are designed well enough that it's really fun to just look around and try to find them all on your own. You have to win to keep the emeralds, but once you have them all, Sonic changes to Super Sonic, breaks the game, and you unlock the final level, which beating lets you play as Robotnik. Finding all 5 coins in a stage starts a challenge to unlock one of the 4. This includes Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, which is, I think this was his first appearance, and Egg Pawn, I think, I actually don't remember what it is, and oh wait, goddamn, I'm not that derivative, I swear. Now, as much as I had fun completing this game, I still wouldn't say it's good. Sure, the idea of collecting rings to unlock paths and improve speed boosts is I like it a lot, it was a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna boot this up and play some Mario Kart or hell, any other racing game. The controls are just weird enough and the tracks are very short. I'd love to see them try this again, which I'm sure is what literally everyone who's reviewed how any of these spin-offs has said, is it'd be great to see them try this again. But there's really no reason for me to ever go back to this game. Just like every other Sonic spin-off from this area, it ended up being wasted potential. But you don't play Sonic R for the gameplay. You play Sonic R for the music. Thank you for putting up with my stalling. We'll start the marathon properly with Sonic Adventure, the real first 3D Sonic game, next time, but until then I hope you enjoyed this video. Go watch my other videos while you wait for Sonic Adventure, subscribe with the notifications on so you know exactly when that video comes out, and so if it's your birthday, happy birthday, and do y'all feel that sunshine?